Let's talk about riding that wave of marketing. I'm Jen DeTracey, the founder of Lift Strategies, where we work with small business owners and leaders to help them uncover missing opportunities for growth, both personally and professionally, through marketing strategy and Elevate Results coaching program. All right, we're going to talk today about what I love to speak about most is marketing and riding that wave. You can see I've got a background appropriate for today with a big crashing wave. When you are marketing, there are going to be certain aspects of what you're doing that are going to have more traction than other things. And we'll get into the concept of stacking and marketing layers another time in another video. But briefly, when you look at marketing, in order to be successful, you have multiple layers of marketing to create awareness around your product or service. And you do that because it's like the more layers, the more potential impact. So that's all I'll say about that for now. When you are looking back at your last 6 months, 3 months, year, whatever that is, of what you're doing marketing wise, it's so important to track your results, because the more that you track them, the more you'll know what's going on in terms of what's working and what's not working. And when you notice that something is working, you want to ride the wave of that. And that's because, let's face it, when we think about waves, you think of them coming in and out to shore. There's a point where they crest and then they move to that place of breaking against the shore. And when they break against the shore, unless it's like a tsunami kind of wave, the land basically grounds the wave and takes away the energy of that wave. And this is what can happen in your marketing, is that energy at a certain point will fade. And so we can't think that every single thing you do, whether it's a sales funnel or a promotion, is always going to resonate with the audience. We do need to keep things fresh, but you want to make sure that you make something last as long as possible. But when it is dead, you want to pull it. You don't want to keep putting money, time, and energy into a marketing initiative that is no longer working, thinking you might be able to squeeze a little bit more out of it. No, that's going to cost you. You want to be able to ride the wave, though, to maximize. So if you notice something's working, that means ramping it up. That means putting more energy, time, and possibly money into what you're doing to make it last as long as possible. And the tracking part will help you to determine when it's starting to hit the ground and energy is being taken out, right? But when it's kind of like at that point where the wave breaks and it hits the land, that is a sign. Don't wait until it's all the way up the shore to stop it. You want to stop it right away. At least pull out your energy and around the money side of things. So if you're doing Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube ads, whatever that is, you really want to make sure that you're following that. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only way you're marketing. It could be other ways, just through posting on social media. It could be email marketing. If you're still doing traditional advertising in some way, really watching that closely. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make, is they don't maximize the potential of something that starts to get traction in their marketing action plan, the marketing initiatives that arise. And so they just move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. No, you want to milk it. You want to get the most out of it that you can. When we think about launching anything, a sale, a promotion, an opportunity, the fact is the amount of time and energy that it takes you to create, or your team to create something like that, or your virtual assistant or whoever you're using, it takes a lot of time. There's a big ramping up process. But when it hits the market, when it hits online, it's the first time that people are seeing it. So we think, oh my gosh, it didn't work. But no, it's the first time. That's why it's so important that if you see some interest, likes, comments, purchases, you want to invest more time and energy and really get that moving to the extent that you can to get the maximum benefit, not only for you, but for the people that you serve so they can benefit from what you have to offer. So, so important. So don't give up on something just because in the beginning there's only a little nip or bite. The chance of, for example, a video going viral is really random. It's amazing how on another YouTube channel that I have separate from my business, that I can take one video, I can turn it into multiple shorts. And of those shorts, maybe only 1 out of 10 gets crazy action of 1,000, 2,000 views. And that is just random. It's an algorithm on YouTube. And the algorithm decides what's going to happen, but you just don't know when that is. So you want to maximize. For example, I'm going to take this video and I'm going to cut it down into smaller pieces of content and get it out there as well, because that's a way to ride the wave of what I'm creating even before I know what the results are. So that's another layer that I want you to think about, is when you're creating something marketing wise, how might you maximize it before you even know what your results are, to test in the marketplace? It doesn't matter what medium it is. It's just thinking about what are you doing and how can you leverage what you're doing now to maximize it so that you have multiple layers. Because if I'm doing a YouTube video like this one and I'm sharing it across all kinds of different social media channels, that video is taking X amount of time to create. But if I can chop it down, as I mentioned, into smaller pieces, then I'm really leveraging my time, energy, and maximizing my reach. And that is a great way to do it, because, you want to take the body of what you're doing, in this case, the video that I'm creating, and maximize it as much as possible. So going back to this idea of riding the wave, just as a sort of summary around this, number one, you have multiple layers in your marketing, right? And it's the combination of those layers that makes a difference. Maybe somebody will see something, one of my videos, for example, on LinkedIn. They might see it on Facebook. They might see it on Blue Sky. They might see it on YouTube. I'm sharing it out on many different platforms, right? And so those are all layers. Each time I'm posting in a different place, that's another layer. And then if I take those videos and I make them short and I share those out, then what I'm doing is I'm leveraging the time and energy and what I've created to see what has traction and what doesn't. And in the beginning, if you're like at the beginning of your journey marketing, nothing will have traction or very little traction, right? And you might have one burst through a short that has like really like amazing views. But again, it's kind of a random thing. It will happen sometimes and other times it won't. So you want to notice when it happens, you want to have the multiple layers, and you want to ride the wave of that. So for example, if I have a video that really has amazing views, might be wise for me to start doing ads around that to really drive that higher, because there's so many views on it already. So you can think about what other layers can you add based on your budget, based on your sales, based on interactions, and then go from there. So be sure that when you are doing this, you are tracking that process every step of the way, because when you track, the truth is in the tracking, and you will know whether to spike and ride that wave, or just keep it at where it's at, or just move on and come up with another marketing strategy or message that fits with your audience, that's going to resonate with them and make an impact. I'm Jen DeTracey, as I mentioned, the founder of List Strategies, and I will see you soon. So go ahead and take action on that, because action is going to make a difference. Go look at what's working, go look at where you want to ride that wave, get it going now, and make a difference for your business and for those that you serve. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.